Hello Fleet, and welcome back to another episode of Sail and Chat with me, Chase. And today, we're going to sail the Otago around islands of ice. So, as usual, at the start of every episode, let's quickly talk about what's happening this week in World of Warships. Well, a new patch has come around. Nothing major has changed, but the premium ships, the Atlanta and the Otago, are back. So if you're looking to purchase these two ships, better get to it. In terms of which one might be a better buy, that's an interesting question. I would say that if you really want to mess with carrier captains, I would say get an Atlanta. The Atlanta is a it's AA guns, which are basically 127 millimeter guns. Those things are an absolute nightmare to a carrier if you know what you're doing with them. So if you want to mess with a carrier, get an Atlanta. But if you kind of like Japanese cruisers and you kind of like I guess using torpedoes along with nice decent guns, although you don't really worry about large citadel hitboxes, then the Otago is the ship for you. She comes with this beautiful camo that, really suits this particular map. So if that's the ship you're interested in, go for it. Although the Otago is a teensy little bit pricey. But anyways, that is of no concern to certain people who are really obsessed about the ship. For the rest of you, the Atlanta is a better buy. Cough, cough. Anyways, I'm just messing with all of you. Just buy whatever ship you like, and yeah, go for it. It's pretty good ships. And finally, one last thing to talk about, which is I just did an 1-hour interview with Tanks for the Memories, and he's doing he's a small YouTuber right now who's doing a pretty interesting series called Motorboating with the Memories. And what he does is he interviews various people who either play World of Warships or have been around for a while, and he gets to talk to them and play some battles with them. So I had some pretty decent battles in the little time that I was division with him, and I answered a whole bunch of random questions. So if you want to go hear me make some silly statements or whatever, go over there, check him out, show him some support. He's still a very new YouTube channel, and I think it's good that I can do whatever I can to support people who are up and coming. So I'll post a link to the video and everything in the video description below, so go ahead and check it out. And also you can click on that little annotated link there. I think that'll help as well to get you there. So enough about ships for a second. World of Warships right now on the NA server, they're trying to decide on a mascot. So I'll post a link to the forum post, and I'm asking you for a mascot suggestion. I say we nominate penguins, because penguins are really sort of the underwater stealth ninjas, and I think they exist on this particular map. Penguins, let's go nominate them. Hopefully they actually do pick penguins, because that would be awesome, because then I can permanently say I'm hunting for penguins on this particular map every time I decide to visit an iceberg. And I think that's really everything so far on World of Warships. I mean, this week has been relatively quiet, so nothing super exciting on warships. In my, I guess, day-to-day personal life and whatnot, this week has been challenging. Let's use that word. First of all, some of you have definitely heard about my visit to the HMCS Haida, and how much that wasn't exactly pleasant. But the after effects, of me coming home, making the video, asking for your help, and the amount of support and the amount of people who took the time to call and email has been, really been able to pick my spirits up a little bit. I mean, I feel that, I'm not alone in all this, and I have support from all of you, and I just want to let you all know that I really, really appreciate it, and it really did make my week just that little bit better. One more piece of news just to update there. The non-profit organization that's attached to the Parks Canada Museum, an organization called the Friends of HMCS Haida, one of their executives did email me and tell me that they are hosting meetings, and they're trying to make sure that the situation that I was in won't happen again. So I I hope that there's some kind of resolution there, and I hope that for those of you who visit in the future, they will have a lot clearer policies as what to do and how to do it, and so on and so forth. So I'm looking forward to hearing back from them. When I do hear back from them, I will certainly let all of you know. And once again, thank you all so much for that support. And finally, when I thought everything was starting to look a little bit on the upswing and things are starting to look a little bit better, well, when bad things happen, they don't just come in, sort of one at a time a little bit. They sort of come at it, in a bit of a flood. So the brand new Honda Fit I bought not too long ago has developed a bit of a problem with the front bumper. It's now has this sort of pretty visible gap, and it's no longer sort of flush with the body of the car. So I've taken that back to the dealer, and they try to get it looked at today, and it hasn't worked so well. So they've given me a loaner car for the entire weekend as they try to get it fixed, so I can hopefully pick her up by Monday. But for a brand new car, and to already have her go into a body shop to get all taken apart and put back together does kind of suck. So we'll see how that goes, but I'll update you guys sometime next week when I actually get my car back. Okay, so enough about me, and let's move on to some viewer questions and comments that were submitted in last week's episode. So without much further hesitation, let's get going. Our very first comment of the day comes from Tom Broadhurst, who tells me that he thinks I deserve a whole bunch more subs, and he tells me that I should just keep working hard, and the subs will come. And first of all, Tom, I just really want to say thank you. This kind of support is, well, it keeps me really up there and happy, and keeps me going. And I want to let you know that you bet I will be working my tail off, and I will be doing my absolute best to keep pumping out as much content and as much quality content as possible. And hopefully, eventually we will get to a goal of having the largest naval community on YouTube. Well, this next comment, I can't stop laughing ever since reading this, because I'm not really sure what to say about it. I mean, thank you, but it's kind of just, I don't know, it's a little bit funny to me. But yes, I mean, thanks, Ryan. Oh God. Anyways, yeah, see, I get the funny comments too, and in a way they bring a smile to my face, and at the same time, I'm sort of sitting there going, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Anyways, Ryan, thanks for that comment too. This next comment is actually really cool. Apparently, I actually have some fans in China, but they can't watch my videos and subscribe to me on YouTube because the Great Firewall of China kind of blocks YouTube. So I know for a fact that there are some people here who are actually taking some of my videos, adding the subtitles, and uploading them to Chinese servers so that players in China can watch these. So if you have a chance, and you can do me this favor, please upload this one for me as well to a Chinese server. And while I have very limited Chinese abilities, I have some conversational fluency. So I just want to say, 在中国的朋友们，我想跟你们说声大家好。And for everybody else who is kind of wondering what on earth I just said, I basically said to all of my friends in China, I want to say hello to all of you. So moving on to our next comment from Noah Hart. He says, greetings from the Asian server, and he sort of wishes that there was some cross-server tournaments for World of Warships. And Noah, I wish that too. It would be awesome if there were actually cross-server tournaments, and the reason why he wants those is because he wants a chance to actually battle against me or fight alongside me. And I can tell you, Noah, that I actually would really like that, because it would be fun to fight alongside some of my friends from Europe and Asia and everything like that. It'd be really cool. And just one more thing, you're totally welcome. I'm glad I was able to help you along, and of course people can repay me in shells to my citadel in the future. And in terms of sort of personal comments, I'm going to end off with Mobius's comment here, which he mentions that I at one point wanted to do a sort of video series on sort of cool things that you can make with food, because I'm a bit of a foodie, and he's wondering what happened to it, because he also heard me later on in one of my streams saying that I went on a bit of a diet. Well, Mobius, I gotta say one thing, which is I would probably do that again in the future, but first I gotta get my health back. I think I have been abusing my own body a little bit too much in the last bunch of years, and I haven't been feeling too good, but ever since starting the diet I have felt much better, and I'm gonna keep going with what I'm doing right now. Hopefully when my health does return, I will maybe consider starting up that series and maybe teach people how to make awesomely good food. But yes, that is definitely a project for the future, Mobius, and yeah, thanks for asking. Now, onto some actual sort of gameplay, game-oriented questions. Julo asks me if I have any tips to make the grind go a little bit easier, because Julo's been playing the closed beta, and now he's gone to the open beta, and of course there's this huge sort of gap in amount of experience earned and everything, and he's wondering if there's any tips I can give him. Well, Julo, there has been a nerf to the amount of EXP you can gain. Obviously, because it's open beta now, Wargaming does want people to actually play the ships, right? You can get through a ship in beta in like 5 or 6 battles. Here, it's going to take a bit longer. The only tip I can really give you is try to be sort of the top player on your team. For me right now, I'm usually either top or top 2, 3 players on the team. My experience is actually quite decent, so for me the grind hasn't been as bad. So definitely try to apply lessons that I taught on Captain's Academy, or other various videos where I talk about strategy and tactics and so on and so forth. If you can use that efficiently, and you can score really well on the team, your EXP gain will be pretty darn good. And of course, get a premium account. Those kind of help. But if you can't get a premium account, try to just be the best players on your team. You should be able to gain quite a bit of experience by sort of being way up there. Frank, you asked a very interesting question, because Frank is probably wondering, like, how come you're the only thing moving on the entire map? What type of sorcery is this? Well, Frank, it's I guess a minor modification. You can get it on Aslain's Modpack, which, by the way, the link to Aslain's Modpack is in the video description below. And in Aslain's Modpack, there is an option there to enable training rooms. So what I'm in right now is a training room, and allows me to, well, basically go around the map all by myself. Hope that helps. Ooh, Nicholas, you've got a great question, by the way. The main battery modification 2 is one of those modifications that is very confusingly written. Because it's kind of like 2 things both with plus, and it's like, what's going on there? Well, I can confirm to you that the main battery modification 2, it allows your guns to turn faster. But in order to get your guns to turn faster, you lose rate of fire. So it's good for things like a destroyer that has really slow turning guns, because they can sacrifice some of their rate of fire just to have their guns turn faster, which of course for destroy and destroy combat is really important. Hopefully that answers your question about it. It's kind of a weird thing that I think Wargaming really should fix, by the way. And thanks of course for sending in that question. There was one comment that wasn't really a question, but it had something to do with the game, and I read it and I was like, ooh, I really gotta correct this. So Lewis Chapman, in case you're listening to me again, just so you know, the Atlanta is a phenomenal anti-aircraft platform. The Atlanta benefits tremendously from the AA barrage ability, and let me explain to you why. The Atlanta's 127mm AA guns have tremendous range. I think just like stock without anything, it's like 5 kilometers. If you throw on the module, you throw on the captain skills, you can easily extend the AA range to something like 7 something kilometers. Now, the AA barrage ability, and here's what makes it such a great AA platform, is that the AA barrage ability, it doesn't increase it by percentage. In fact, it's a multiplier. So the Atlanta's AA damage at super long range, once you throw in the AA barrage modifier, which is times 6, gives the Atlanta the ability to do over 200 damage per second at 7 kilometers. It allows it to basically wipe the air clean of single squadrons with ease at range. I've actually had times where I flew a tier 8 squadron within 7 kilometers of an Atlanta, and in the split second that I look away, by the time I look back, I'd gone from 6 planes in a squadron down to 1. So yeah, the Atlantis AA is actually quite phenomenal, so please don't underestimate it. It's a great AA ship. Hey Griefer, I saw that you asked this question and nobody really provided you with an answer. So I do want to just answer this for you. The 127mm secondary guns on the Cleveland do fully function as anti-aircraft. They're not animated, but yeah, they're absolutely capable of shooting down planes. So yes, just to answer that question for you, and hopefully it helps. I was wondering when somebody was gonna bring this question up. So from Dark Troop asks me what is happening on basically what's happening to carriers right now, because there are a couple of players who are who rushed all the way up to tier 10 and then they got like the Haku or the Midway, and then they just pretty much have been seal clubbing people like non-stop. So because there's not just enough top tier ships right now, and he was wondering what is my opinion on this. Dark Troop, I know it kind of sucks for the sort of tier 7-8 people to really be running up against tier 10 carriers, and it's not really much fun, but I don't think it's as bad in terms of leading to a mass exodus of players, because remember, there are carriers who are catching up, more and more carriers getting up to tier 10 every single day, and those people will give them a run for their money, especially if they're decent. And so I don't think it's something to worry about. I think right now, yes, they've temporarily got an advantage, but at the same time, I'm not worried, because I think in the long run, everything will balance out. So, don't stress it too much, buddy. And that wraps up all of our questions and comments from last week's videos that I could squeeze into this week's video. Don't forget, if you've got questions and you want answers, please leave them in the video description below, and I will get them I'll get to them in next week's video. Let me think, what else do I want to say? Oh yes, of course, just a reminder, do go check out Tanks for the Memories. He's doing something that's pretty cool, and I think he'll be a valuable addition to the naval enthusiast crowd that we have here. So make sure you go there, show him some support, show him some love, and of course click on that subscribe button for him. Just one last thing from me. Sorry that I sound kind of tired today. My schedule, which was originally, go get the car to the dealer, get it fixed, 3 hours later, bring it home and work on the video, was thrown into pretty much disarray when the whole repair thing took pretty much the majority of the day. So I'm trying to catch up this video at like 3:20 in the morning. And I am just like dead. My brain is kind of dead too because I keep like forgetting what I actually want to say. Oh yes, of course, right, one more thing. If you like what I'm doing, don't forget to like and sub. You guys all have a fantastic week, and hopefully a better week than I'm having. Have a fantastic weekend, because that's coming. It is Friday. Actually, no, it's Saturday morning already. Holy crap. And have a great weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing some of you, or on the high seas this weekend during my weekend stream on Sunday. So take care, have a great one, and looking forward to talking to you again next week.